Blessings, everyone. It's just a bless, and I'm back with another video. I'm the CEO and founder of Somebody's Auntie LLC, and I have another Everyday Auntie clip for you guys today. I'm very excited. I have a special guest that's going to come on and talk about her life as an auntie and all the fun stuff. And so, before we jump into the video, if you haven't done so already, give this video a like, subscribe, and let's get into it. I'm going to add Brittany onto the stage for better introductions. Hello! Blessings. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here with you. How are you?
I'm good. It's absolutely my pleasure. I love this stuff. It's so important that I do this storytelling. It's
Mm.
the highlight of the business and of my brand and what I'm trying to create a space where we can have these conversations. So
Mm.
I'm super excited. Why don't you start off by just telling us who you are and what your life looks like?
Okay. Well, I think how you started was amazing because that is what I also love is just having space for conversations and storytelling. So my name is Brittany. I am originally from Michigan, but I'm now based in New York City. I've been in New York for a little over 12 years, which is so wild. And I started a company with my brother Brandon and his girlfriend Jane during 2020 during the pandemic. And we were having conversations starting around like TV shows, FaceTiming, how everybody was doing, just talking about what was going on in the world, about TV that we were watching. And it started there and started developing into more conversations about our childhood, about our upbringing, about our relationships. And through that, we realized that this was really important to create space, just like you said, of just being able to share our stories, our experiences, and helping each other really dive into those things and really connect in that way. And so we wanted to share that with other people. And so we basically created a conversation card game called Hella Awkward, where we have 140 different questions that we created ourselves. And it's spread against 4 different categories. So we talk real talk, dating, sex, relationships. We kind of have all the topics that we dive into. And so we really hope that people kind of help get to know each other, deepen connections, and have fun through a fun game setting. So that's a little bit about us.
I love it. And we need to get together and do like an auntie circle where we play the games.
Ooh,
I think that would be so dope.
that's a
I think
great
that would be
idea.
cool. Yeah.
Let's do
So
it for
I
sure.
love it. I love it. And so how I met with Britt, we actually connected. I actually didn't see you, which is surprising at the Shopify event because I saw everybody. I met everybody but Brittany, but I had a plan, and we then connected at a later event, at an MBE event in New York City at this beautiful, gorgeous building that was so high tech. I still am like, whoa, I can't even believe that. And so, yeah, so we were chatting, and of course, as aunties do, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, somebody come through, somebody's auntie. So, why don't you tell me? First question is going to be, what does somebody's auntie mean to you? If you just, and that's your definition, what does it mean to you?
Somebody's auntie. I mean, I think aunties are so incredible in so many different backgrounds. Obviously, being a Black woman, having people and women in my life who were my aunties, it just was so amazing to see different perspectives. I grew up pretty poor. And so I think that's something that I'm always so grateful for is I had such an amazing community of women, of aunties who were there encouraging me, guiding me, loving on me, keeping me accountable, telling me don't be messing with them boys. Like all of those things were so important. And they also showed me the world through their lens. Like I got a chance to see that I could dream big and I could have just different opportunities that I wouldn't have had without having these aunties. So I think having like the somebody auntie, like I just really think about opportunity and just care and encouragement. Those are the words that come to mind.
I feel that. I feel that. What is, if you could pick one of the biggest influences that one of your aunts or aunt figures has had on your life, what would it be?
Well, I have to say my aunt TT. So my mom has one sister, and I'm just so grateful to her because my mom had me when she was in college. So my parents were both in college. They got pregnant with me, decided to have me. And I'm always just like, I can't even fathom that now. Like, I'm 34 years old. I don't have any kids. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so wild to think about being 19, 20 years old and having a kid. But my mom, while she was going through that experience, her mom, my grandmother, was unhappy because my mom was a very bright person and student, and kind of disowned her a little bit in a way, and didn't really support her financially, and kind of was upset, and broke ties through that process. But my aunt Titi, who was younger than my mom, she was entering into college and decided to go to the same college as my mom so that she could be there to help raise me when I was newborn baby. So she was a freshman in college, chose the same college that my mom and dad went to so that she could be there to support, take care of me, feed me. When my mom needed to go to class, when she had to do homework, they would kind of all
Wow.
switch, and kind of built a schedule to where they could take care of me. And I am just, I'm beyond grateful to have that sort of love and care. And she's just always been such a caring person in my life. And she's always like, you're just my little baby. Like, for her, it's like I'm her baby too, because she was there from the beginning. And being so young, but just having that instinct to just be there. I'm so grateful for that. So shout out to Auntie T.
Shout out to Auntie T. Honestly, that is such a beautiful story, and these are the stories that I want to highlight because I would love to, if we could get your Auntie T up on here one day with you to kind of talk about some
Yeah.
of the process in that. And so many people bring up how their aunts have played such an important role in their upbringing and raising them, and your aunt literally was like, I'm gonna go to the same exact college as my sister and I'm gonna help her raise this baby. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's
And she didn't look back. She was like, yep, let's go. We out. She sent in the application and pulled up.
go. It's
And that,
unbelievable. I mean, that's such dedication and such love. So,
yeah.
I mean, they've always been super close, and you can just see like the love between them. Like they're always kikiing, always on the phone, always supporting one another. So I'm just glad to have amazing people in my life. Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. And I appreciate you sharing that. I also grew up very much without anything. And the average person doesn't know that. And when you
Mhm.
see successful women, right, you see someone who's, you're like, yeah, I have my own business with my family, we're building this up, and they see you're
Yeah.
so well put together. They don't see where you came from or what it took to get you to where you are. And your
Mhm.
aunt has played such a pivotal impact and role into who you are today, and how you stand up and how you smile. And I just think that's so beautiful. Wow.
I know. It's true. I mean, there's no way that I would have been able to, be where I am without the people that have been supporting me and just encouraging me. So having her
Hmm.
there from day one, like who knows what would have happened, of course, like we can't predict what would have gone on, but
Hmm.
it's just like I can't imagine being so young, dealing with being pregnant, in school, and then to at least have your sister there with you to navigate through that. I mean, it probably saved her, saved my mom. So
Yeah. Do any of your siblings have any children? Are you an auntie yet by birth? Or yeah? Yes. He's like a yeah.
yeah, yes, I am. My middle child brother Brian, he has two sons. So I have two nephews, and they are adorable.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Oh,
So
that's
cute.
beautiful.
One
Can
year.
you, I guess, tell me a story about like your favorite memory with them, and I'm gonna let you tell the story, and I'm gonna drop down for a second.
Okay. So I have a 6-year-old nephew, Wes, and I will always remember when he was born. He was born premature by a few weeks. And, that's always a scary process because you don't know if there's any longstanding complications, any health issues with his mom. Like, it's always really scary. But I remember them finally coming home flying down for the holidays. It was like just in time for Christmas holidays. Coming down and just having that first moment to hold my nephew was just incredible. Like you just look into his eyes and like makes me emotional. But you just see like this next generation of children that you are going to guide and touch and love on, and just having that connection with someone that is like of you, like he's my little brother's baby. And so it's just beautiful to have this little person that you're going to shape and raise and love and play and be a part of his life. And he's just an absolute light. Now we FaceTime and he sends me funny like pictures of himself, selfies. He has like his art that he does where he sends selfies of him like out by the pool and it's just adorable. And it's just so wild to have such a little being who you get to teach and play with, and it just brings out these new like childhood healing, I guess. Yeah, it's very healing. It's very, very healing watching him play. Like I said, we didn't grow up with much, and now he has so much room to play and just be a child and learn and swim. He loves being in the pool, so it's just beautiful to have the ability to watch him. Yeah, watching him grow up is just a joy.
I love what you said. My brother's baby. Like, come on now. That's my brother's baby. Like, that's my baby. I love it. That's such a beautiful story. Oh, well, that's great. What is your favorite thing about being an auntie? If you could pick one thing, if you could pick one thing.
I mean, I just love playing with them. I love because they live in Memphis, Tennessee, and I live in New York, so I don't get to see them in person very often. It's really like when I go down to visit for holidays, but we try to, do FaceTimes, or we try to send videos, of him playing and things like that. So when I get to see him, those first moments when he's so excited, he's been told like, oh, your aunties are coming over, he's all excited about it, and we finally get to see each other. And that just initial like excitement where he runs up and he jumps in my arms and gives me a big hug, and then he's just ready to play. He's like, let's do this. He has a list of things like, first I want to paint, and then I want to swim, and then I want you to chase me. And it's just so cute. Yeah, it's exciting. I love just being able to watch these little Black boys just have joy, just play, just lightness, just freedom to just be who they are. And it's like I said, like it just feels very healing to be able to watch that, because I mean, we all know like little Black boys, we see what's happening and with the police, with the abuse. I mean, it's scary. So seeing them in just pure freedom and joy and play, it just feels so happy. So I'm just glad I get to add to that.
It's interesting because so my nephews that are super young, when they're super young, everyone thinks they're so cute. And it's like this, like, oh, isn't he the cutest? But then as they get older, you see this transition where people then start to like, it's such a weird thing that happens. And I don't know what it is, but that cuteness that everybody loves and adores kind of sometimes shifts around to, I don't know if it's fear or it's just whatever it is whatever society has created over the generations of time. But it's very, very sad because it does make me really scared. I worry about it. I have brothers, even my brothers, having brothers, I've had nightmares, right? Oh my gosh, the nightmares I've had because you have this anxiety. And so with the nephews, it's like 10 times the amount of anxiety. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. Do you have any like tips for aunties who don't live near their nieces or their nephews, and how to stay connected with them, or anything like that? Because it's a very common thing that aunts don't live in proximity to their siblings, so they don't get to see them as often.
Yeah, it's hard. When I was a kid, I grew up with like all my dad's family were around. So I had cousins and aunties and uncles and grandparents. And so that proximity of just being able to like pop over for a weekend and do dinner, or like go see my cousins and spend the night and have like a fun weekend night. We don't really have that same access because now we're so much more global and people live in so many places. So it's so tough to stay connected, especially when they're so young, when your nieces or nephews are so young. But I mean, we definitely do like FaceTiming. That is helpful. There's only so many options, but I'll send like, he does artwork. So I'll always send like fun, like art supplies or books. And then my brother or my mom will send me pictures or videos of him like doing the artwork. Or he went through a phase where he was wanting to do camping. So I sent him a sleeping bag, just like a cheap little sleeping bag. And he was obsessed, and he would just sleep in the sleeping bag in the bed. So cute things like that, where you can like, he knows it's from me. I get videos of him enjoying the things that I thought of him for. And so you still get to have those moments of connection, but it's hard. Like, it's hard not being there. Of course, I wish I was there more, but this is the world that we live in, and you just try to make the most of the moments that you do have together and then find ways to stay connected when you're not.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you hit the nail. I can't even imagine you. What I love most about everything you shared is that there's so many layers to it. There's you, and then there's the impact you've had on your nieces and nephews, and then there's the impact your aunts have had on you. And
Yeah.
it just all comes together. Is there anything else that you would want to maybe share with a fellow auntie who maybe is struggling with
Hmm.
navigating being an auntie or living far away, who maybe, who is, kind of having a hard time with it?
Yeah. The beautiful thing about being an auntie is that you're kind of like you're an additional layer of love and protection. So I think finding peace in knowing that what you add to their life is always going to be a beautiful addition. Like, even if there are times when weeks or months or maybe years go by where you're not able to see them in person or give that, physical hug or kiss, you still are adding to their lives in a beautiful way. And I think finding peace in knowing that there's, the joy that they have of having those little moments of those little videos, or if you are able to send like little small gifts or FaceTiming and read a book together, or take a picture of their favorite animal that you see and send it over to them, like little things like that, they really make a big impact on young people. And I think when you can just add those little layers of additional just love, I think it really is memorable. I mean, I'm sure we can all think of some random memory that we had when we were a kid of, oh, when I went to my aunt and uncle's house and they had like cupcakes, and I thought their house was like a mansion. Like, I thought, wow, this place was huge and they had cupcakes there. And this is like just a random memory that always sticks in my brain. And they probably, like, who knows if they remember, I don't know, but I certainly remember that. And that's such an impactful thing for me to say, wow, I had so much fun at their house on our trip and we had those cupcakes, like little things like that. They really do matter. And I think it's just important to like, yeah, find the peace in knowing that everything that you're adding is impactful and is an additional layer of love for them.
Yeah. And as you were sharing, one thing that came to my mind, so I remember when I've been an auntie for a really long time. I've been an auntie for most of my life
Mm-hmm.
because I'm the youngest of seven kids. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, so my oldest brother, actually, when he had his first baby, I think I was about seven.
Oh,
I was
wow.
6 or 7. And so I've been able to see the different roles of being an auntie when I couldn't, we didn't have smartphones back then. We didn't have phones
Right.
at all. But
Yeah.
I I've been able to see it with no responsibility, and then I've been able to see it with responsibility as like years have gone on. And I
Yeah.
remember having a fear of my nieces or my nephews forgetting my name for some strange reason. When I'm like, when we, when my sister like moved out and we went our separate ways, I was like, they're gonna forget me. They're gonna forget me.
Yeah.
And I know that that is like I don't know. I think that's every auntie's like nightmare. It's
Yeah,
like we
yeah,
don't want that to happen, and it didn't happen. So
yeah.
rest assured, sleep easy. It did not happen. They still know me. Okay, you gotta hang out with them a little bit. They might look at you side eyed for like, a couple hours after you haven't seen them in a couple months. They might be, and then
Yeah,
you know
yeah. It'll be
you'll be good.
comfortable.
You'll be
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah, it'll be good.
Oh
No,
yeah.
that's cool. That's legit. I'll go months without seeing my nephews, and that's legit. Like my youngest nephew is only one, so he doesn't have the same, development to recognize me right away. So if I see him, at first it's kind of like, do I know you? Who is you, lady? Of course, like they're babies. They have to kind of feel comfortable, and so my job is to make sure that they feel that love and comfort so that they can come to me when they're ready on their terms. And then eventually it's like no time has passed and they're just like, oh, I like this lady, she's nice, she's great. Who is she? Oh, she's my auntie. Oh, okay, great, now we can have fun. And then that's that. But it does, yeah, I totally get you. Like those months go by and you're like, all right.
Yeah, this is the real. We're gonna be honest. Keep
Right.
it honest. Yes. So before we kind of close out, I was hoping maybe we could do one of your questions.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. This is my first time playing hella awkward, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is hella awkward. So it's 140 different questions. And then there's 4 different categories. So it's real talk, dating, sex, and relationships. So we'll do real talk, um, since we're keeping it real. Let's see. I'll just pick one. Okay. If money wasn't an issue, how would you spend your time?
I would spend my time being an auntie, hanging out with my niece and nephews. So I think if money wasn't an issue, I would definitely be spending more time with my family.
Yeah.
And it would be specifically doing things that we couldn't afford to do when I was younger. I genuinely think it would be like, yeah, like let's go out and experience these things. Let's go take them on this vacation. Let's take them to eat
Yeah.
here. Let's take them to celebrate, do this and all the little things that we would want to do that maybe I wasn't able to do before.
Yeah.
And being in such an awkward position growing up where I was such a young auntie that like I didn't have a job. I wasn't able to go, oh yeah, I bought it was very like, okay, well let's hang out, let's play. It wasn't, I most I could give them some candy, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
um,
Like, I mean, that's
they
nice.
love the candy, okay? That's how you get on the good list. You just give
Right.
them
Exactly.
um, so I think that that's what I would do. What about you?
Oh man. I mean, I love just experiences. Like I love new things and trying out, the world, what the world has to offer. But I think that's a good one. Like taking my family traveling. Like we've always had this dream of having a big family trip over to like Ghana and just exploring West Africa and kind of getting into that. Like I'm African American, so kind of finding those ancestral roots in West Africa. I think that would be so amazing, and just having those sort of travel experiences with the whole fam. And if we didn't have to worry about money, we could be living large, doing all the things, going on all the trips. And yeah, so I guess just traveling and doing those big travel experiences with my fam would be amazing.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. Before we close out this video, tell the people where they can find you, where they can shop hella awkward, and how they can stay connected with you.
Yeah, of course. So I'm of course on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can find me at Hella Awkward Cards, and then our website is hellaawkward.com. And then we're also sold at Target and on Amazon, so you can find us there. And yeah, feel free to DM me and say hi. I always love to chat with folks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. And
Yes,
maybe we can get your auntie on here and we can do
that would
like
be
a
great.
a whole thing. Yeah, see if she's interested. But until then, anyone who is watching this video, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a like, and we'll see you in the next